Welcome to your first step into the creative world of Adobe Illustrator. Today's lesson focuses on shape tools, one of the most versatile and essential features in the software. These tools are the building blocks of countless designs, from simple icons to complex illustrations. Whether you're designing logos, creating digital art, or exploring graphic design for the first time, mastering the shape tools will set the foundation for your creative journey. In this lesson, you'll learn how to locate and understand the different shape tools, create basic shapes like rectangles, circles, polygons, and stars, and customize and modify shapes to make them uniquely yours. By the end of this lesson, you'll have the skills to start building your own designs and projects with confidence. Okay, great. It is time to get creative now with Adobe Illustrator. However, before we do, we need to make sure the program is launched. I don't have it launched, so I'm finding it here in my taskbar and clicking on it to open it. To begin, we'll find ourselves in this home screen, and my home screen will not match yours because I've been working in Adobe Illustrator, and these files down here are recent projects. For us to all get started, let's make it quick and easy. We'll find here on the left side of the panel the New File button. Go ahead and click that, and we'll find ourselves into the New Document dialog box here in Illustrator. When you start your new file, make sure that you are in inches over here on the right. And we're going to create our first new document by typing in 10 for the width and 8 for the height. You can notice here that there are two little buttons under this label called Orientation, and here's where you can choose between making a tall 8x10 or a wide 8x10. We're going to go ahead and choose tall, and again it's 8 and 10. Now you'll click Create. Here's our Illustrator file, and we are ready to go. If you're in an older version of Adobe Illustrator than 2025, you may not see this little panel that pops up, which is called the contextual taskbar. Whether you do or whether you don't, your first step will be to find these three dots, click this More Options button, and I'll ask you to hide this bar. If you don't see it and it didn't pop up, that's fine too. The very next thing we should do is save our file. File, Save. We're choosing Save As. And you're going to want to save your file to your computer in your own folder. Now, I am saving mine in the folder for the video I'm making, and you will want to save your work in a folder on the drive that makes sense to you. I'm going to go ahead and call this file My Shapes and save it here in my folder. Go ahead and click Save and just OK. And now you're ready to create, knowing that your file has already been saved and you won't lose it. All you have to do now going forward is save once in a while, and if you remember the name of your file, you will always be able to find it on your hard drive somewhere. Let's talk about the Illustrator workspace really quickly. Across the top, this part is called the main menu. The next section down is the control panel, and this will change depending on what you are working with and what you have selected. Today our focus is working with shapes and getting to know them. You have two selection tools. The one at the top is called the Selection tool, and the one to the right of it is called the Direct Selection tool. Now, if you're looking at your screen and it looks very different from mine, here's how you can set up your window to match what I have. Under Window, Workspace, there's a flyout menu that has assorted workspaces, and I am currently using the one called Essentials Classic. So I'm going to recommend you go ahead and choose that choice, Essentials Classic. And if your workspace still doesn't look like this, you can go to Workspace and choose Reset Essentials Classic. What this will do is put all the panels back to this initial workspace. Now we're really ready to begin creating. We're going to be working primarily with the shape tools and the swatches. So if you come over here to the right, on this right side, I'm going to go ahead and click on this swatches button. And then click on this name that says swatches, drag it out, and close this panel. Grabbing from the top, we can move this over, and then I'm going to click and drag and pull down so I can see where all my colors are going to be. You might want to pause now and go ahead and do this much. To begin drawing with shapes, we're going to come over here to the tool set, which is 2 columns because we are in the Essentials Classic workspace. That's actually why I have you pick this workspace, because it's really easy to work with this space. If you're watching what I'm doing over here on the left, I'm going to click this rectangle, which is a tool for drawing, and I'm going to choose a different color other than white. White is the color I have now. And I'll also talk about this little thing called the outline or stroke. If I click and choose a color, and then click in this document area and hold and pull, I've created a rectangle. This rectangle is currently selected, and if you want to, you can look here to see the stroke size or stroke thickness, and you can click this button up to see your object change. There are several places to change color in Illustrator. One is on this tool pane, one is here in the control panel, and in fact, there's also one on the appearance panel and in the swatches. To change the color of the object, I can come up here and click, seeing my palette, choose a different color, click on this thing called the stroke. Let's try that again and give that a different color, or tell it I don't want it to have an outline at all. If you want to change the stroke color using this tool palette at the bottom, first you want to click on this stroke object and then choose none. So if you click on the fill control, it comes to the front and you can change the color again. Go ahead and experiment. You can click and drag and change the color of your object. Click and drag again. Change the color of the object. Now we'll talk briefly about the selection tools. The tools at the very top are the selection tool and the direct selection tool. The tool on the left, the selection tool, is used to click on these objects. The things you're making are called objects, and you can stack them and move them around with this tool. You'll notice which one is on top of which, and if you want to move the stacking order of one, you can click on it, right mouse click, and choose Arrange, and here is Bring to Front. You can explore the other shape tools. Here is a rounded rectangle tool. Click and drag, change the color. If you want to add a stroke or an outline, click up here at the top. Here is a dark green outline, and I'll make it thicker by clicking this up arrow to the right of the word stroke. While that is still selected, I can change parts of it. If I want to change the fill needs to be the front color. Now it's orange. If I want to change the color of the stroke here in the swatches panel, you have to click on it to see that it comes to the front of these 2 icons, and then you can choose your new color. Next, let's look at the ellipse tool. If I click and drag to create a new ellipse, it's the same color as the last thing I created. Once again, if you want it to have no stroke, you can make sure stroke is to the front in the swatches panel and click none. If you want to change the color, you can click on this little chip to bring it to the front, and again, change color. Yes, there are multiple ways to do these things, and these controls, as I'm mentioning again, are up here at the top. You can get back to changing color from here as well. You also have a polygon tool. To use this tool, you're going to click once on your screen and then choose the number of sides. I'll go with 3 and click OK. And again, change the color just for fun. To move your shapes around, go back to the selection tool. Click and drag. We'll do one more shape, which is going to be a star. We'll find that here in the star tool. If I click and drag, I am making a star, changing the color here in the swatches panel, and moving it with this arrow called the selection tool. Once you're done practicing, go to File and Save, and your file called My Shapes will be saved wherever it is that you've placed it on your hard drive. Okay, my friends, we are done for now. We have completed our first lesson, Introduction to Shapes in Adobe Illustrator. That is all for now. See you next time, and happy illustrating!